Let's slow things down. There's nowhere you need to go right now. Imagine yourself in a small medieval village where rain has been falling for hours. It doesn't grow stronger and it doesn't fade away. It simply continues. Wooden and stone houses stand close together, water slowly running down rooftops, beams, and uneven walls. The narrow streets grow quiet earlier than usual. Somewhere in the distance, a shutter closes softly. In one of the windows, a warm light is still glowing. You begin to notice how the rain becomes the background for everything else. Footsteps, breathing, even your thoughts. Nothing important is happening here, and that's exactly why it feels so peaceful. Let this evening unfold at its own pace. You can relax and stay here for as long as you like. The rain continues. It falls steadily, without hurry, as if it has nowhere else to be. You walk slowly along a narrow street where the cobblestones have darkened from hours of rain. They are smooth and slightly slippery, worn down by countless footsteps before yours. On evenings just like this one, the air smells of wet wood and cold earth. It feels dense and fresh, as if the rain itself has blended into it. The houses stand close together. Their walls are uneven, shaped by time, and water runs gently along cracks and wooden beams, choosing no particular path. Somewhere above, under a roof, raindrops strike in a soft, repeating rhythm. The sound does not change, it simply continues, marking time in its own quiet way. You pass closed market stalls. During the day, this place would have been busy, but the rain has settled everything. Wooden shutters are pulled shut, fabrics put away, doors firmly closed. Only the light remains, warm, dim, scattered. In one window, a candle still burns. Its glow trembles slightly, reflecting on the wet stones below. Not as a signal, but as a quiet reminder that somewhere nearby it is dry and warm. There is no need to hurry. Nothing in this evening asks you to move faster. Your footsteps soften until you barely notice them at all. The rain slowly takes over every other sound. It fills the narrow space between the buildings. It smooths the edges of the world. It slows your thoughts. For a moment it feels as though the entire village is breathing in the same rhythm. Roofs, walls, and ground accept the rain calmly without resistance. You stop beneath a small wooden overhang attached to one of the buildings. Here, the rain falls just beyond your reach, gathering along the edge of the beams before dripping down in thin streams. Under the shelter, the air feels slightly warmer. Not because there is heat, but because the rain no longer touches you directly. The drops continue to fall nearby, but now they remain outside, and you are inside a small pocket of calm. Moisture lingers in the air, making each breath slower, deeper. The chill fades gradually, first from your fingers, then from your shoulders, and finally from somewhere deeper inside. The wood above you is dark and aged. It has absorbed many evenings like this one, many rains, many quiet moments. From time to time, a heavier drop falls from the edge of the roof. Its sound is softer than the rest, like a pause at the end of a long sentence. You begin to notice that thoughts arrive less often, and when they do, they leave more space behind them, space that does not need to be filled. You can simply stand here, listening, doing nothing at all. On evenings like this, no one expects news, no one makes plans. The day has already passed and the night has not fully arrived. This is a moment in between, unnoticed, quiet. Somewhere in the distance, a door closes gently. The sound dissolves almost immediately into the rain. Your breathing becomes easier, not suddenly, just a little at a time. Life here is simple. If it rains, it rains. Darkness falls, a light is lit, and people remain inside. Nothing more is required. You may continue walking, or you may stay here a while longer. Either way, this evening is in no hurry. It will continue at its own slow pace while the rain softly touches the rooftops and the village gradually settles into the night. The rain has not changed. It still falls at the same steady pace, as if time itself has slowed to match it. The village feels different now, not quieter, but softer. Shadows deepen between the buildings, and the narrow street seems to narrow even more as darkness settles in. The rain smooths the edges of everything it touches, blurring distance and detail. You begin walking again, slowly, without any particular destination. Each step feels unhurried, as though the ground itself is in no rush to carry you forward. The air is cooler now. It rests gently against your skin, clean and damp, carrying the faint scent of wet stone and old wood. Somewhere nearby, water trickles along a shallow groove in the street, forming a thin, quiet stream. It follows the slope of the stones naturally, without effort, without sound beyond a soft murmur. Most of the windows are dark now. The evening has drawn people inward into warmth and stillness. Only a few lights remain, glowing faintly behind glass. Those small lights feel distant, not lonely, just calm. You pause for a moment listening. The rain fills the space completely, leaving nothing uncovered. There's no silence here, and there's no noise either. Only continuity. Your breathing begins to match the rhythm around you. Slow, even, unforced. With each breath your body feels heavier and more settled, as if gravity itself has become gentler. You notice how the rain changes the way sound travels. Footsteps fade quickly. Movement disappears almost as soon as it begins. The village no longer feels like a place that is awake. It feels like a place that is resting. You pass a doorway slightly set back from the street. The wood is dark and polished smooth by years of use. Rain slides along its surface, leaving thin, glistening trails behind. Above, the rooftops remain still and solid, quietly receiving the rain without complaint. They have done this countless times before. Nothing here is surprised by the weather. Nothing resists it. The night grows deeper, almost without notice. There's no clear moment when it arrives. It simply settles, layer by layer. Your thoughts begin to drift more freely now. They no longer form complete shapes. They appear briefly, then dissolve like reflections in water. There's no need to hold on to them. You come to another quiet stretch of the street and slow your pace even further. Standing still feels just as natural as moving. The rain continues to mark time gently, not counting minutes or hours, only maintaining its steady presence. It feels safe to let go here, safe to stop paying attention. In places like this, the world does not ask anything of you. It does not demand answers or decisions. It allows you to simply exist within it. You remain there for a while, letting the sound of rain settle around you completely, letting it soften everything it touches, including you. Eventually, movement feels unnecessary. Even standing feels optional. The village rests, the rain continues, and the night slowly carries everything towards stillness. At some point, the rain begins to feel closer. Not louder, not stronger, just closer. You notice it as you slow your steps once more, standing beneath a simple wooden overhang at the edge of the street. The roof is low and uneven, supported by dark beams smoothed by time. Here the rain sounds different. It strikes the wood above you in a soft, steady rhythm. A muted tapping, consistent, reliable. You remain there, not because you must, but because it feels natural to stop. The village continues resting around you. Nothing stirs. Nothing calls for attention. Water runs gently along the edge of the roof, dripping down in thin, patient lines. Each drop follows the one before it without hurry. You listen. The sound wraps around you, filling the small space beneath the shelter completely. There's no echo, no sharpness, only repetition. Your shoulders begin to loosen, your breathing slows, almost without instruction. In moments like this, the body understands something the mind does not need to explain. You're dry here, you're safe here, and there's nowhere else you need to be. The rain continues. It continues above you. It continues beyond you. It continues without change. Time no longer feels measured. There are no minutes passing, only a steady presence that remains. You lean slightly, resting your weight more comfortably. Even small movements feel unnecessary now. The world outside the shelter fades into softness. Streets, doorways, shadows. All of it remains, but none of it asks anything of you. You focus again on the sound of rain on wood, on how evenly it falls, on how predictable it has become. There's comfort in that predictability. Your thoughts begin to slow, stretching out and thinning as they move. Some drift in, most drift away. There is no need to follow them. The shelter holds steady, the rain remains patient. You stay exactly where you are, letting the night do what it has always done best. Quietly, you carry everything toward rest. Nothing changes, and nothing needs to. The rain continues to fall. The village continues to sleep, and beneath the wooden roof, you are allowed to do the same. The rain is still there. It has not weakened. It has not grown stronger. It remains exactly as it was. You become aware of it again, not because it changed, but because your attention slowly returns to it. Each drop falls in its own place. Each sound blends into the next until no single moment stands apart. You remain where you are. There is no reason to move, no reason to decide. Your body is already settled into the night. You feel the weight of stillness around you. Not heavy, not pressing, just present. And the rain continues to trace gentle patterns across stone and ground. Patterns that repeat, patterns that never need to finish. Your breathing follows them naturally, in, out, slowly, quietly. You may notice how little effort it takes now to remain here, standing, listening, breathing. Effort has faded from the moment. The village around you feels distant, as though it exists behind a thin curtain of rain. Buildings, streets, doorways, they are still there. They simply no longer demand recognition. The night has a way of doing this, of softening edges, of lowering expectations. Your thoughts respond in the same way. They arrive without urgency, they drift without direction, most of them dissolve before fully forming. There's no need to hold on to any of them. The rain remains steady. It remains patient. You listen again, and this time the sound feels fuller, closer, not louder, just more complete. It fills the space without interruption. Nothing breaks it, nothing interrupts the rhythm. In moments like this, time becomes less important. Minutes lose their shape, seconds are no longer counted, there is only continuation. You feel a subtle warmth begin to settle beneath your chest, a quiet heaviness in your limbs, a sense of being gently anchored, as if the night itself is holding you in place. You do not need to relax. Relaxation has already begun. The rain continues to fall. The village continues to rest. And you remain suspended in between, awake enough to listen, calm enough to let go. For a while, nothing changes. And then Without warning, everything feels slightly farther away. The sound of rain softens at the edges. Your breathing deepens. The space around you feels larger, yet less defined. You return again to the same simple awareness: the rain, the stillness, the gentle weight of the night. Nothing new enters the moment. Nothing needs to. You are not waiting for sleep. You are already moving toward it, slowly, naturally, without effort. The night continues its quiet work. The rain continues its patient rhythm, and you allow yourself to remain exactly as you are, knowing there is nothing else required of you now. The rain has been falling for a long time now, and the village has grown used to its presence and doesn't grow stronger or weaker. It simply exists, steady and calm, filling the space around you. You walk slowly along a narrow stone street. Beneath your feet, the cobblestones are wet, smooth from water and time. Each stone has rested in its place for many years, and the rain only emphasizes its shape, its color, its uneven surface. Houses line the street on both sides. Low buildings pressed closely together with dark wooden doors and small windows. Some windows are closed with shutters. Others are covered with thick fabric, keeping the cold night air outside. Water slowly runs down from the rooftops. It gathers into thin streams, falling softly onto the stones below. The sound repeats again and again, forming a steady, calming rhythm. You pass one house, then another. From somewhere inside, you hear the faint crackle of firewood in a hearth. From another, only silence, deep and warm like a heavy blanket. The air smells of wet wood, earth, and distant smoke. Nothing sharp, nothing overwhelming, just a quiet mixture carried by the night air. The rain touches your hood, your shoulders, your hands. Every movement becomes slower. There's no reason to hurry, no reason to walk any faster. The street gradually narrows. The stones grow slightly larger, the water between them a little deeper. Small puddles reflect the soft light from rare lanterns and windows. You may keep walking, or you may stop. Nothing important is happening here, and that is exactly why it feels so peaceful. The night accepts everything as it is. The rain continues to fall. The village continues to sleep. As you continue, the night grows deeper. The sounds of the village fade away, leaving only the rain and a few distant, barely noticeable noises. Most of the houses are dark now. People have gone to sleep wrapped in warm blankets, listening to the same rain you hear now. Inside these homes, everything is simple. Wooden tables, rough benches, a hearth where embers slowly fade, giving off their last warmth. Clothes are folded neatly, shoes rest near the door, still damp from the day. Everything is in its place. The rain taps against the rooftops, sometimes a little louder, sometimes softer, but never sudden, never demanding attention. Your body begins to relax. Your shoulders feel heavy. Your breathing slows, becoming steady and calm. Thoughts no longer hold their shape. They appear, then fade without staying for long. And that feels natural. The night was made for this state, for rest, for stillness, for sleep. You don't need to follow every word. You don't need to keep track of time. Nothing is required of you here. The rain will continue to fall. The village will remain asleep. And you can gently let go of the day. The voice grows softer. It doesn't disappear suddenly. It simply becomes unnecessary. Only the sound of rain remains, calm and even. And somewhere within that sound, you drift into sleep.